The Time. Berg suggested to Jobs to use his influence at Apple to create a 3M computer workstation for higher education, featuring at least 1 megabyte of random access memory, a megapixel display and megaflops performance, hence the name 3M. Jobs was intrigued by Berg's concept of a workstation and contemplated starting a higher education computer company in the fall of 1985, amidst increasing turmoil at Apple. Jobs' division did not release upgraded versions of the Macintosh and much of the Macintosh Office system. As a result, sales plummeted and Apple was forced to write off millions of dollars in unsold inventory. Apple's chief executive officer, CEO, John Sculley ousted Jobs from his day-to-day role at Apple, replacing him with Jean-Louis Gassi in 1985. Later that year, Jobs began a power struggle to regain control of the company. The board of directors sided with Sculley while Jobs took a business trip to Western Europe and the Soviet Union on behalf of Apple. After several months of being sidelined, Jobs resigned from Apple on September 13, 1985. He told the board he was leaving to set up a new computer company, and that he would be taking several Apple employees from the Supermicro division with him. He also told the board that his new company would not compete with Apple and might even consider licensing its designs back to them to market under the Macintosh brand. Jobs named his new company Next, Inc. A number of former Apple employees followed him to Next, including Joanna Hoffman, Bud Tribble, George Crow, Rich Page, Susan Barnes, Susan Kerr, and Daniel Lewin. After consulting with major educational buyers from around the country, including a follow-up meeting with Paul Berg, a tentative specification for the workstation was drawn up. It was designed to be powerful enough to run wet lab simulations and cheap enough for college students to use in their dormitory rooms. Before the specifications were finished, however, Apple sued Next for nefarious schemes to take advantage of the co-founders' insider information. Jobs remarked, "It is hard to think that a $2 billion company with 4,300 plus people couldn't compete with 6 people in blue jeans." The suit was eventually dismissed before trial. In 1986, Jobs recruited the famous graphic designer Paul Rand to create a brand identity costing $100,000. 14, Jobs recalled, "I asked him if he would come up with a few options, and he said, 'No, I will solve your problem for you and you will pay me. You don't have to use the solution. If you want options, go talk to other people.'"